All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about a company called MP Materials, and it is right at the heart of a massive, high-stakes gamble by the US to break China's stranglehold on some of the most vital materials in the world. But inside this geopolitical drama, there's a really fascinating financial puzzle.
And that puzzle is this. How on earth can a company whose profits look like they're falling off a cliff still be valued at billions and billions of dollars? It's a total paradox, and the answer tells you everything you need to know about national security, geopolitics, and the future of tech.
So, to really understand what's going on, you've got to start with the numbers, because honestly, they just don't seem to make any sense at first glance.
First up, revenue. I mean, look at this. After a great year in 2022, bringing in over $500 million, sales have just cratered. They've been cut by more than half in just a couple of years. Now, on paper, this looks like a business that is in deep, deep trouble.
But hang on, the revenue is only half of it. The picture on profitability, it's even worse. Their gross margin, which was once an unbelievable 82%, has completely collapsed. It's now sitting at negative 23%. So what does that mean? It means right now, the company is literally losing money on its main business with every single sale it makes.
And, when profitability tanks like that, the cash situation gets ugly fast. The company went from making almost $300 million in free cash to now burning through nearly $200 million. I mean, this is the kind of chart that normally has investors running for the exit.
And yet, the market values this business at over $11 billion. So what gives? How do you possibly connect these awful-looking financials with a price tag that puts it in the big leagues? Well, the answer isn't about what the company is doing today, it's about what it's trying to become tomorrow. The entire secret is in the company's master plan. It turns out those terrible numbers, they aren't a sign of failure. They are the calculated and, eye-watering cost of a huge plan to control an entire supply chain. They call it the mine-to-magnet strategy. See, for years, MP Materials only did step one. They dug raw stuff out of the ground and sold it. But the real money, the serious money, is in steps 2 and 3. Taking that raw ore, separating it into super pure materials, and then turning those into the incredibly powerful magnets that are essential for everything, from electric vehicles to fighter jets. So here's the key. The company is deliberately selling less of its low-profit Step 1 product. Instead, they're hoarding it, building up a massive stockpile that will feed their new, way more profitable Step 2 and Step 3 operations. Those losses we just saw, that's not a mistake. It's a strategic investment. But why is this plan worth so much? And that brings us to the real key to this whole story. This isn't just a corporate strategy, it's a geopolitical one. It's about America's secret weapon. You see, for decades, the entire Western world has been almost completely dependent on China for these rare earth elements. While China only mines about 60 or 70% of the raw ore, it has an absolute chokehold on the really critical part, the processing. They control nearly 90% of it, and that is a massive, massive national security problem. So, to fix this, the US government, specifically, we're talking about the Department of Defense, didn't just give MP Materials a little support. No, they formed what the source material calls a transformational partnership. They basically picked them to be America's champion in this fight. And this partnership is unlike anything you've seen. The DoD became the company's biggest shareholder, dropping $400 million. They gave them loans, and they guaranteed they would buy everything, 100% of the output from their new magnet factory for 10 years straight. Suddenly, MP Materials isn't just a company, it's a strategic national asset. But listen, this right here, this is the most important part of the entire deal. The government set a guaranteed price floor for MP's most valuable product, a floor of $110 a kilogram, which is nearly double the current market price. With that one move, they erased the biggest risk that every other mining company in the world has to deal with. They basically guaranteed MP Materials will be profitable. So with the full backing of the US government, this sounds like a total slam dunk, right? Well, not exactly. This is still a massive, high-stakes gamble. The case for MP Materials, the bull case, is powerful. I mean, it's the only game in town in the entire Western Hemisphere. Its business model is basically de-risked by the government, and it's perfectly positioned to cash in on the EV and green energy boom, with huge partners like GM and Apple already signing on. But the case against them, the bear case, is just as strong. Going from a simple mining company to a high-tech manufacturer is incredibly hard. This is seriously complex stuff. That $11 billion valuation leaves zero room for error. And remember that government price floor? It's great, but it only covers about 15% of what they dig up. And then you've got some weird signals coming from inside the company. And this is a pretty big red flag. The top executives, we're talking the CEO and the COO, have been selling millions and millions of dollars of their own stock. The COO just recently sold almost $11 million worth. Now, a little selling is normal, sure, but the scale of this makes you ask the question, if the future's so bright, why are the guys who know the most cashing out right now? And the market is clearly torn. A huge 18.3% of the company's available stock is being shorted. That means there are a lot of investors out there with a lot of money betting that this stock is going to go down, not up. It shows just how much disagreement there is about whether this whole ambitious plan will actually work. So, after weighing the bull case and the bear case, where do we land on this incredibly complex and incredibly important company? The source material ultimately comes down on the bullish side, but with a huge asterisk. The core belief is that the long-term strategic importance of this company to America's industrial future is just too big to ignore, and that it outweighs the very real risks they face right now. But here's the key takeaway: patience. This is not a get-rich-quick story. The whole mine-to-magnet plan isn't going to be fully up and running for another 2 to 3 years. The entire bet here rests on your willingness to wait and see if they can actually pull off this incredibly complicated plan. Which leaves us with one final massive question. Is MP Materials the blueprint for how America can rebuild its most critical supply chains? A true industrial rebirth? Or is it just a fantastically risky, government-backed bet that, for the sake of national security, has become simply too big to fail?